James Ellsworth finally gets his WWE World Championship opportunity against AJ Styles to open SmackDown, but that's not all. We're heading into the wild card SmackDown Live, the last one of 2016, and needless to say, there are some intriguing complications that involve championship gold. What happens and what sort of blockbuster crazy match ends SmackDown Live this week and heads into next week? We'll cover all this and more in this week's edition of the Smackdown ReBound. Hello everybody, my name is Connor OKayFabe, your official SmackDown Live video correspondent for OneWrestling.com and One Wrestling Video's YouTube channel. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to, of course, Smackdown ReBound, the show where we cover everything and anything pertaining to the boy blue brand known as Smackdown Live. Of course, you guys know me, Connor OKayFabe. You can follow me over the Twitter at OKayFabe and interact with me as I tweet during SmackDown and also other pay-per-views and also other wrestling shows as well, too. But don't forget to give the love to the entire OneWrestling.com family, including myself, Billy Ray Valentine, everyone over at Big Slam Nation, of course, Big Ray, and of course, the legendary, the iconic Mr. Bill After. You can follow all their social media links down in the description box right here below. Make sure you head over to OneWrestling.com for all your latest wrestling news and needs, and of course, hit that subscribe and like button, and make sure you leave your comment down below, letting us know what you thought of this week's SmackDown Live. Boy howdy, this week's SmackDown was really, yeah, I said boy howdy already. Yeah, that's a thing apparently I'm saying. I feel like they say that in the 60s. I digress. This week's SmackDown was a little crazy. It was nuts because we're heading into a big SmackDown next week. We knew that the WWE Championship would be on the line, but we now know there will be 3 championship matches in what's called the wild card of SmackDown Live Edition, which will be taking place next week. I believe it's from Chicago, Illinois. We had a lot of things set up, but of course, we kicked off SmackDown with a WWE Championship match. James Ellsworth, the man with 2 hands, finally gets his opportunity against AJ Styles, and boy, well, it lasted shorter than the match between Goldberg and Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. Hooray! Poor Ellsworth. After the matchup, AJ decimates Ellsworth, beating him outside the ring and just absolutely bruising and bloody him. Well, maybe not too bloody him. I mean, it was internal bleeding. You couldn't really see it. I digress. AJ then going on saying that he's going to have a stellar 2017 because there's nothing really else that's big on his plate. Of course, this brings out Dolph Ziggler, who is guaranteed a championship match next week after the #1 contendership fatal 4-way that he won last week. He confronts AJ Styles, saying that he did everything and even put his career on the line to win the Intercontinental Championship. Imagine what he's willing to do to become WWE Champion. Of course, he's interrupted by Baron Corbin, of all people. Random, but I love it. I think it's fantastic. I'm a big Baron Corbin fan. Corbin, of course, says that Ziggler always loses. That's what he's destined to do. That's what he's good at doing. And, of course, decides to lay out Dolph Ziggler. As he stares on AJ Styles, almost eyeing that WWE Championship, backstage, Dolph Ziggler demands a match with Baron Corbin. Daniel Bryan agrees with the stipulation that Dolph Ziggler puts his #1 contendership on the line. The main event is set for this week's SmackDown. Now, we kick off with another championship matchup. The Intercontinental title's on the line. Apollo Crews taking on Intercontinental Champion The Miz. This matchup just really made me appreciate Miz that much more as the Intercontinental Champion. I know I've said it a lot on this show, but it holds true. It's really good. Miz as Intercontinental Champion, I think, does well, even though despite the fact that Maurice was ejected from ringside. They did play off, of course, the non-title match that we saw from Tribute to the Troops, where Apollo did get a victory over The Miz. But it was a very solid matchup, great way to kick things off with Miz, of course, retaining the Intercontinental Championship. But it's also good to see Apollo Crews on the main show as well. I hope we get to see more of Apollo Crews, not Apollo Creed, Apollo Crews in the future. I really hope he wins the Intercontinental Championship down the road, so I hope this isn't the last time we see him possibly challenging for that championship. However, afterwards, Renee Young was asked by The Miz about his obsession with Dean Ambrose following the Fatal 4-Way last week, which Miz quickly switched things around and then said, well, Renee, let's talk about your obsession with The Miz, considering you're sleeping with him. Renee, of course, took much offense to that, slapping The Miz across the face. Boy howdy. This is a little awkward. She doesn't watch this. Okay, good. Just want to state that for the record. I just want to make sure of that. Speaking of championships, earlier on, it was announced that because, unfortunately, Zack Ryder has a knee injury, he will be out approximately 4 to 6 months. We will not see him until sometime in 2017. Of course, he sustained that knee injury from the tag team battle royal that him and Mojo Rawley won to become the new #1 contenders for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. I hope Zack Ryder, if he is indeed watching this in any way, shape, or form, wish him a quick, speedy recovery. Woo, woo, woo. You know he'll be back stronger than ever. This prompts, of course, a huge matchup that's made next week for the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles. The Wyatt family, Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt, assumably, will be defending them in a 4 corners matchup. We're not sure if this is elimination, but we know it's a 4 corners matchup that will be defending the SmackDown Tag Team titles against the team of the Usos, former champions Heath Slater and Rhino, and American Alpha. This takes place next week in Chicago for SmackDown Wild Card. That one's going to be absolutely insane. Of course, don't forget the man who is the champ who runs the camp. The man, well, AJ has that now. Okay, it's Cena. We all know it's Cena. Next week, John Cena, one of the most decorated and strong. He's the man. He is the man. You guys know that. John Cena will be returning to SmackDown Live next week, and I have some intriguing theories about what's going to happen with John Cena and what I'm hoping we'll see as I get to the end of this video. So make sure you stick around and tune in for that one. More drama unfolded with the women's division as Natalya called out Nikki Bella to explain everything that's been going on. Of course, Carmella making those accusations that she was the one. Natalya was the one who attacked Nikki Bella right before the 5-on-5 match at Survivor Series, and Carmella basically keep on reiterating, as she also came out as well, too, telling Nikki, yeah, Natalya said all these things about you, jealous of this, you blah, 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 and to which Natalya, of course, stormed after Carmella, but then ultimately admitted that it was true. She was the one that would attack Nikki Bella at Survivor Series. Whew, that's a little awkward. Even calling her the B word. Can I say the B word? The female dog. You guys know what I think you guys know what I'm referring to. I don't know what's with this SmackDown, guys. I mean, you got Miz calling out Renee Young, and then you got Natalya dropping B words. It's insanity. It's just crazy. It's like a mini Jerry Springer. And is it wrong for me to like that? I think we're good. I think it's okay to like. Okay, good. Thank goodness. Because I don't want to get fired. Anyway, moving on to the next matchup, Luke Harper against Dean Ambrose. Again, very happy that Luke Harper got some singles action against the Lunatic Fringe. Unfortunately, Dean did pick up the victory here, but it was attacked by the Wyatt family shortly thereafter. Of course, Miz, having to stick his nose in the business again, decides to waltz right in after a defeated Dean Ambrose and give him a skull-crushing finale, just for the sake of it. Why not, right? You know where this is going, folks. I think we all can see a future Intercontinental Championship match between Miz and Dean Ambrose sometime in the near future, possibly even, I'm going to call the SmackDown before the Royal Rumble. Anyway, in an intriguing other matchup as well, too, speaking of championships, Alexa Bliss was revealed that she would be defending her SmackDown Women's Championship also next week against Becky Lynch, as her rematch clause will actually be invoked fully this time. And to further ensue this, Daniel Bryan had set up a match with Alexa Bliss, non-title of course, against a female masked wrestler known as La Luchadora, where she would have to face this woman one-on-one non-title. But if Alexa Bliss refused to have this match for whatever reason, then she would forfeit the championship. Of course, La Luchadora showing some impressive moves that just were like dumbfounded and amazing and fantastic and familiar and Irish and redheaded, and she used it was Becky. It was Becky, wasn't it? You can't fool a fooler. Is that the phrase? No, it's not the phrase. I gotta watch my phrases. Anyway, La Luchadora getting the win over Alexa Bliss, revealing, of course, it's Becky Lynch underneath the mask. Weird things are going to happen next week on SmackDown. Who's going to walk out as the SmackDown Women's Champion? Let me know down in the comments section below. Kurt Hawkins against Mojo Rawley in a quick matchup with Mojo getting the win over Kurt Hawkins. Very intriguing matchup. Nothing really here to say the least. But very interesting to see where Mojo's career is going to go, at least for the foreseeable future. Now that Zack Ryder is, of course, out with the injury. Of course, I'm also curious what they're going to do with Kurt Hawkins, as he really hasn't done a whole lot since his debut. But here's hoping maybe we might see a long-term rivalry between these two, with the stakes of Zack Ryder's affection is on the line. I could see it. Zack Ryder's affection on a pole match. Book it. Main event time. Corbin versus Ziggler. #1 contendership for the WWE Championship on the line. These two tore it up. I'm not sure why, but personally, I was not a huge fan of Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler. back when Corbin debuted on the main roster shortly after WrestleMania 32. But for some reason, this one just gelled well. I don't know if it was because of the motivation. The circumstances were different, and Corbin is itching to be in that top championship spot. Switching things around a little bit and having AJ defend, against possibly either one of these men really makes it a different scenario and a different scene. I told you guys last week I'm really looking forward to AJ versus Dolph if that was the case. But of course, it looks like it's going to be the case and more as we're going to get to the finish in just a moment. AJ outside during commentary. Corbin and Ziggler battling out. Unfortunately, neither man made it to the 10 count, but AJ didn't care. He took a steel chair and just decimated everybody outside the ring. Of course, Daniel Bryan coming out, trying to lay down the law as best as only Daniel Bryan could, announcing that since AJ wants to have all this and all this calamity chaos, let's just make this easy. Next week, championship is on the line. AJ, Dolph, and Baron Corbin in a triple threat match. Yes, 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 and yes. Cannot wait for this match to happen. Professionalism in a wrestling t-shirt. You guys get the whole idea. So needless to say, this week's SmackDown was crazy. It was intense, but it really had me excited. While I did really kind of only enjoy the main event and the Intercontinental Championship matchup, it does make me excited for what we're going to see in the future, specifically next week. 3 championship matches, tag team women's and the WWE World Championship, all are going to be on the line. Now, as far as my theory about what's going to happen with John Cena, we're going to see the big man return next week on SmackDown Live. My theory is that he will be challenging whoever walks out of next week's SmackDown as the WWE Champion, possibly even at the Royal Rumble, which is one of my personal favorite pay-per-views. So I'm really curious and hopeful to see where things are going. Love the action with the Intercontinental Championship in the main event. Curious to see where the women's are going to go. So much craziness and hype, but I want to hear what you guys have to say. Let me know what you guys think of this week's SmackDown down in the comment section below, or hit us up over on Twitter and other social media as well, too, and let us know what you guys think of this week's SmackDown. Thank you guys again for tuning in for another edition of the Smackdown ReBound. Make sure you guys, if you haven't subscribed to One Wrestling Video already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that like button, and share the video to the world. Again, let us know your thoughts of this week's SmackDown. We're going to see you guys next week for an amazing, awesome SmackDown Wild Card Edition. And real quick, personally from me to you guys all, happy holidays if you guys are enjoying it. If I don't hear or see from you, well, you should hear from me next week. Have a safe New Year as well, too, guys. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at OKayFabe so we can tweet during the entire shows as well, too. And until next time, guys, to quote the legendary, iconic Mr. Bill Apter, we will see you at the matches.